Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is another beer from Line Creek Brewing Company out of Peachtree City, Georgia. This is another one of the Blind Wolf beers. It's the barrel aged series of beers from Line Creek, or one of the barrel aged series of beers from Line Creek. So the this particular Blind Wolf is the Imperial Porter. It's aged in maple syrup, bourbon barrels. It clacks, clickety clack. It clocks in at 9% alcohol by volume. All right, and I've never had it. I'm pretty impressed with Line Creek over the years. Some of their barrel aged stuff is really, really good. Some of it's just okay, but none of it's bad. Line Creek, there's so many great craft breweries here in Georgia. It's hard to really, I don't know, like Wild Leap is probably number one. Pontoon Brewing Company is up there. Line Creek, a lot of times it falls by the wayside, kind of gets overlooked. It's a smaller craft brewery, but they make some excellent stuff as well. So let's see how this Imperial Porter aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels looks, tastes, etc. There's pour pretty much a black appearance with about a half finger tan colored head. I can already smell that maple syrup. Yeah, definitely picking up on the maple. You know, the bourbon barrel notes are coming through as well. Definitely very maple forward on the aroma. A little bit of roasted malt characters coming through as well. A little toffee note. It smells really good. Not picking up on any of the 9% alcohol. It just smells like a really nice, sweet porter beer. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. Mm, really nice. The maple syrup is definitely there, but it's not overpowering. Sometimes when you have beers like this, the maple syrup just that's all you get, and it just takes away from any other qualities of the beer. So maple syrup, which actually kind of drops off quickly, maybe because it's a porter and not a stout, it's a little bit more thin bodied. So the maple syrup drops off pretty quickly. It's not sticking to the insides of my cheeks or anything. Leads into a nice medium toasted white bread note in the middle of the sip. Some nice roasty, toasty character coming from that malt, that roasted barley malt. A little woodiness as well from the bourbon barrels. Um, really roasty, toasty though in the middle, and then it drops off rather quickly on the back end because it is a porter, I think, and not a stout, and it's not as thick. Nothing really lingers. It drops off quickly. It's very inviting in that sense. Makes you want to go right back in for another sip. And it's not really warming at this point going down the throat, which a lot of times when you get into the 9, 10 plus percent ABV range, you're going to get some warming effects. I'm not whatsoever with this. There's nothing that would indicate that this is a high alcohol beer. Mm. Very, very nicely balanced because of the roast that you're getting from the barley malt, the really dark roast on it. There's a little bit of almost like a coffee note, a little astringency from that on the finish, which kind of balances out that initial maple syrup, sweet, malty character that you get with this beer, even leading into the middle of the sip because of the nice malt character from the roasted barley malt. So very balanced, not heavy at all. Being that it is a porter, it's kind of thin. It's really smooth. Um, the mouthfeel is relatively light. It's really a light beer for the style. Considering that it's aged in bourbon barrels and you got the maple syrup, it's not heavy at all like you might think. Carbonation is on the high light side, not quite into medium, but definitely got some nice prickly carbonation with this, which is nice because a lot of times with porters and stouts, you really don't get much of anything with the carbonation. This is a wonderful beer. This is one of the better Line Creek beers that I've had recently. I just recently had another one of the Blind Wolf series, the Belgian Blonde, which was excellent, but a little bit more on the low end. The alcohol was not masked it well. It was kind of a boozy bomb in a good way, But this one is not so boozy. The maple syrup and the bourbon notes are coming through, but it's balanced nicely with the roasted malt and that little bit of an acrid note or the astringent note that you're getting on the back end from the roast adds a little bit of bitterness to kind of balance out the sweet presentation that this beer offers. I'm going to go with a 94 out of 100. I think this is an excellent porter. I would highly recommend it to anybody who can find Line Creek Brewing Company beers in their area. The price point really wasn't that bad either. I believe it was $9.99 for the 4-pack, which for a 9% barrel aged beer is not a bad value at all in my book. So 94 out of 100, definitely worth checking out if you can find Line Creek in your area. A wonderful beer, and I'm going to enjoy the 4-pack. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, and until next time, everybody, cheers.